Hello guys, this is Danishman here with another Minecraft video, and today I'm going to show you how to build a Minecraft faction base. Well, I'm not exactly going to show you how to build it, but I'm going to run through a lot of different defenses that might help you build a good faction base, and in the end of the video I will do an outline of how I would use the defenses, so enjoy! Okay, so this is the vertical cobblestone wall. It's pretty good defense because it's easy to build, and you see this kind of defense on a lot of bases. So yeah, and one thing you need to remember when you are building these cobblestone walls is firstly cover your corners. I didn't do it here because I want to show you how to do it, but I'll get on with that later. If you don't cover your corners like this, let's just go over here. If you don't cover your corners and somebody shoots a TNT and it explodes right here, it would damage your wall because the wall is not protected if there's not water on the corners. So if a TNT explodes here, it will do damage just like this, and the people are able to shoot a TNT, a scatter shot for example. It's exploding in your wall, and then you will have a much bigger hole, and bam, they got through one wall without stacking sand. So that's why you do need to cover your corners. I cannot say it enough. In all the kind of defenses and walls you are building, you cannot go around covering your corners. It's the freaking most important thing ever. I mean, just remember it. Okay, so how to do it? You place your water source blocks on top here, and you make a little cool thing here. Yeah, you go one block down and you place blocks like that, and bam, the water flows over. And you need to get a water block here also, because otherwise they're able to shoot a TNT that explodes right here, and you would have the same problem. So just place a block on top like that and it should work. When you're building walls like this, there's a very important thing that you do need to remember. It's a thing called blast resistance. So basically, as you can see here, I built this wall out of endstone instead. It's exactly the same wall as you can see here, but the only difference is when you hybrid through it, it will make a smaller hole. So if say it was cobblestone, it will probably make a hole like this, and if it's endstone, it could make a hole that would look like that maybe, because it has a higher blast resistance, which means when you shoot through it, a lower amount of blocks break. And you might be like, nah, it's only one block less, but it can get annoying if you have a big amount of walls. If say you have 10 endstone walls, it would be a lot more annoying to shoot through than 10 cobblestone walls. Although I recommend using cobblestone for the walls because it's a lot easier to get, and yeah, it's a lot cheaper on most servers. And then you might think, why don't you just use obsidian? It has the highest blast resistance. Well, that's because most servers have a plugin called Obsidian Destroyer, and what that plugin does is it makes obsidian break from maybe 3 hits of TNT, and on most servers that is also through water, so you cannot make unraidable bases. So therefore, in my opinion, or at least I think, endstone is the best opportunity to protect your base on most servers. Okay, so that was the vertical wall design. This is a little bit different kind of a wall because it's still the vertical wall, but you have kind of split it into two. So when you're shooting through this wall, the TNT and the sand, in order to hybrid, will have to fit through this one block gap here in order to hybrid through this, and that's what makes it a lot harder to raid. So basically, if you stack 5 of these behind each other, then they would have to shoot with extreme precision to get through your walls. And the reason why I have a too thick gap in between the walls is, if you let me demonstrate right now. Let's get some sand and some chi right here, and some flint. Okay, so let's say you shot the slab. Oh, I didn't get any sand. Okay, let's say you shot the slab and you stack sand up and you want to hybrid through right here. Then you would have to shoot the TNT and the sand through this small gap, which doesn't always work. And then you hybrid it, and there we go. The only part that is touched is this wall, but you will still have to shoot through this small gap here. So that's what makes these walls a lot better than the normal vertical wall, in my opinion. And the way to improve the wall I showed you before is to stack sand between the cobblestone pillars we have here. It will still work as an anti-hybrid wall, because when you hybrid this, let me demonstrate. When you stack sand up and hybrid this, like this, it's still going to work as an anti-hybrid wall, because when you shoot through here, normally your sand wall would be a little higher, then the sand would fall on top of each other, and you would still have a small gap right here to shoot through, and in that way it would still be anti-hybrid, and you would have another sand wall right here that you would need to shoot through, basically like that. And then it would keep blocking if you were shooting at the lower levels. And this is another type of defense. It is called the Pancake Wall, and it is up to you how long you want to make this. Normally you would shoot from this angle, and you are not able to shoot through here because the sand will clip. And what I mean by that, you normally shoot your TNT and sand together. The TNT is normally able to go through this, but the sand might clip right there and you're not able to do anything. So the TNT would get through, but that wouldn't be able to do anything, in the sense that the base is covered in water. So you would have to stack sand all the way up here and make a hybrid shot like this, and then you would hybrid as many times as you would need to get through these walls. So basically you stack sand up again like this, boom. So basically you would need to stack sand and hybrid up 5 times to get through this wall, which can get really annoying if you have a really long pancake wall. But there is more ways to make this wall, and I will get into that right now. Boom, magic. Look at that, I just changed the wall, and this is what I mean. When you shoot through here, your sand and TNT might clip, and you are not able to stack sand, and therefore this design is better in my opinion, because it uses less space, and it basically blocks, what's it called, all the angles to shoot. And if you use this together with the other wall sides I showed you, like those who go like this, then you basically filter the sand from both directions. If you look at this, they would have to fit through here, and the TNT and sand has to fit through there. And that's why, if you combine these two defenses, it's just going to be epic. Oh, I just hit a bowl there, okay. But definitely, if you're making a base, you should seriously consider doing it, because this is just do it, okay? Just do it. Let me get on to the next defense. Okay, so this is the anti-hybrid wall, or the 45-degree wall. I actually don't know why I call these anti-hybrid walls, as it is still able, you're still able to hybrid them. But yeah, and the reason I didn't cover the underside of this is because basically it takes too long time, and you don't really need to do it. You just have to add layers behind of it. So basically, if you scatter this open like this, or just shoot it open, water will flow down. You will have to stack sand like this, and you will have a very small area, like 1 block area, to hybrid through. And if you have more layers than this, it is going to be a pain to get through these walls. So I definitely recommend making these walls on your base, but do not make them at the inner walls of your base. I would recommend making these as some of the first defenses, as they take up quite a lot of space, and you kind of want the more compact walls closer to your base. Now you're probably wondering, after I've shown you all these walls, how do I actually put them on my base? So right here I have outlined 1 chunk. You can of course make it 2 chunks or 3 chunks, whatever you want. But right now I'm just going to show you how I would lay out the base with the walls I have shown you. first off, I would add some cobblestone walls that actually protect the corners of the base, so people are not able to either glitch in or cannon your corners if you didn't water them, which is very important. I cannot say it enough. I know I already said it, but you need to remember to cover your walls on the corners. So basically the water wraps all the way around your walls, even in the corners. I cannot say it enough. But let's get on to the next walls. Okay, so I just added the anti-hybrid wall. Well, I can't really call it an anti-hybrid because you can still get through it, but this is just a lot harder to get through with an hybrid cannon. That's what I mean, because the sand and the TNT can actually clip on the corners, as I said before. So that's why it's a lot harder to get through. So you put that wall here, and then it's always a good idea to put a couple of vertical cobblestone walls between your different kinds of walls, like for example the pancakes I showed you, and these I can't say anti-hybrid, stop it. Well, yeah, these, let's just call them anti-hybrid, whatever. These anti-hybrid walls. So it's always good to have a different kind, some cobblestone walls, what's it called, between your walls. Yeah, your other walls, whatever. Let's get on with the next walls. Okay, so here I just added the mini pancake walls that makes the sand clip, and it is very important. I cannot say it enough. Again, you need to make these two block white spaces between the pancakes. But when you make walls in front of it, it's okay to just have a one white gap, as it will not affect these walls. But behind them, you do need to have a 2 white gap. As I said, if you stack sand up here and make a hybrid, you're able to damage this the pancake walls here, and they won't. Yeah, they practically won't work anymore. So yeah, you just add your more walls, and then after that, you are going to want to make your what's it called, 45-degree wall, which would be at the inner of your walls. And one of the most important things when you're making a base that has these inner walls is you need to cover this section besides your inner wall, because if you don't have walls in front of this section here, people are going to shoot through the first 2 walls you have around the corners, and then shoot to the side of your back wall here, stack sand up, and basically hybrid through, and they're able to get into the base shooting through minimum amount of walls. So you really need to remember to cover this up. I've seen bases where they've forgotten it and where people have done it. So this is a really important thing when you're building bases. Okay guys, this will be all for this episode, so I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial on how to build faction-based defenses, and I also hope you learned something. And if you enjoyed, please remember to click that like button, as it really helps out the channel. And if you really like the video, make sure to subscribe. Danish man.